Don't know the power.
The math is unfootable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Press go up.
Gigantic fusion reactor that just works.
Multiple income streams and real yield. Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1.
Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is unfootable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership.
And what's it gonna do?
Everybody excited?
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation! Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Gotta do a huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the official EMP live stream. We come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern, and this is a special one. The market is booming. Before we get into that, let me introduce my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. What do you think of the market today? Holy cow!
I am freaking thrilled. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no doubt. Things are looking really good. 2 or 3 AMAs ago, I said, I think we're probably a lot closer to a bottom than people realize. I think we could definitely still see some volatility here, maybe a bit of a pullback, but we broke a lot of key resistance that is looking super promising, and especially with Ethereum. Ethereum is still very, very undervalued, in my opinion. Just looking at, institutional interest, the Ethereum ETFs, the RWA real world assets being tokenized on Ethereum. There's just so many things that people just are overlooking. I think Bitcoin's getting all the spotlight, but ETH will probably end up running the most in terms of blue chip exits. So all right, so all that being said, we have a lot to go over today as usual, but really excited. Just finally happy to see all the patience and hard work finally starting to show off, and we're just getting started. So the next 3 months are going to be very, very interesting for sure.
I was telling AJ that I was scared to write market update on the notes because usually when I do that right before the AMA, everything dumps. But this time it was the opposite. It went up even more since this morning.
Yeah, totally, LA. We've had a run that we did the AMA dump, but yeah, today was the AMA pump. So yeah, we're loving that for sure. So all right, before we get started too, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps. We're almost back over 3,000 subs on our channel, so please make sure that you are spreading the good word. And these AMAs are the perfect way to onboard somebody as well. we're always, fully transparent, available for questions, and can really do a deep dive into the ecosystem. So, all right, let me get back over to my notes. Give me one more second here. All right, yeah, and please feel free to leave your comments as well for questions at the end or as we go. We have plenty of time to do an AMA. We will, hopefully, if we do run late, though, we'll have to cut it off just before 8 because we have our new character unveiling, the second playable character in our game on Reverse Madness. So make sure you join us over there as well, unveiling Mrs. Agatha, the Inquisitor. So LA, some lady vibes
I'm
in the
so
game,
excited
huh?
for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
When you played the trailer last week and she said her piece, that's the same woman, right?
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
Yep, totally. So
I
yeah.
was like, she's got sass. I like her.
Yeah, she is sassy. So you'll see it in the actual lore trailer tonight. But yeah, all right. So the big news is bonds are absolutely killing it. We are now over $2 million in TDL when you account the Treasury bonds and the Bernard bonds. So and we've been hard at work all week. Jake and I have been in meetings literally every single day on 2 new communities onboarding as well. So that is really, really bullish, and we have some cool stuff that we've been working on. We're also dialing in a lot of the vaults. We're experimenting with a new what's called Gaugeless LP, especially on Aerodrome. We're gonna be doing a full report on that in hopefully within the next few hours on our socials. But the long story short is, it looks like we've been able to actually get more APR out of some of the blue chip pools as well. So that's really promising, and people are minting like crazy. So, and with the ETH pump, we're almost at the dollar value of what we started at. Now, again, actually, let me just pull up my screen so it's easier here. Hang on one sec. All right, let me go to bonds. All right, let me switch wallets. That's an actual one of our other wallets. Hang on. All right, so yes, this is again really, really powerful. We have, if you can look down here, we're at about $240 in dollar value. And when we first started bonds, it was at about $250. So to only be down, with ETH coming back up and earning that yield the entire time is super bullish. And again, ETH value is lagging a little bit, but that is because we have so much exposure to alts. So again, even though ETH is pumping, we have to outperform ETH overall to have the actual ETH price go up again. And again, that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, we can't have high yield without having some of the more high volume pairs, but it goes both ways. So again, I mean, now that ETH has recovered and looks like it will continue to do so, that means that we do have an eventual alt season. And when we say alts, we're still talking about blue chip alts. If I scroll down here, I mean, SPX, REI, Banker, a lot of big name, pairs. And so again, if REI does a 2x from here, that will increase the ETH ratio, meaning we're outperforming ETH, and that's how the actual ETH value per bond goes up. And also the name of the game is compounding. We always recommend to take profit, and be responsible. But by compounding back into bonds, you're not only are you kind of securing your profit, but now you're earning even more, which lowers your cost basis as well. So all of this is coming together perfectly. It's everything that we intended it to be. We're still super confident, that we can keep this up, and APR has still been really consistent. Let me go back here. So yeah, APR has still been super consistent as well, back over 80%. Um, we had a lot more deposits today. Last night, APR was around 90%. And again, when ETH pumps and we get more deposits, we have to take a day or two to deploy that capital. And that's why APR will fluctuate. But we've been above about 70-75% since the beginning. So again, APR will continue to get more and more stable as we continue to move forward, and we're still on track for even higher APRs as we get into the real bull run, because volume before about 2 hours ago when the initial pump started, volume was down by about half. So the fact that we were still able to do 80% APR last week, roughly, on basically half the trading volume is spectacular. So all of that again is really promising, and closing in on 75K total distributed to everybody within the first 6 weeks. So pretty amazing. And now we have even more capital earning every single day. So congrats to all of you that are in bonds, and I encourage everybody else to look into bonds and see if it might be a good fit for you. So
And over $72,000 already paid out. That's wild.
I know, isn't that crazy? So yeah, this number will just continue to go up and up and up. And remember, for the first few weeks, we only had a couple of $100,000 in there. I say only, but this number will actually scale quicker as more funds go into the fund. So all right, awesome. Ella, anything you want me to elaborate on with that? I don't have my notes up, but
Let me see. Well, just another reminder that once the compensation fund is paid back and our treasury grows within bonds, this is going to be a huge revenue source for Fusion, and just one of
totally.
many.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing point. I mean, we're already making major headway on the compensation fund. Again, the goal is, 5-10 million bucks. We're already almost halfway there. And it's been 6 weeks. So that will only speed up the process. And yeah, I think people are sleeping on that, LA. This is going to be a massive fuel in the flywheel for EMP and GDEX. So yeah,
Agreed.
I mean, again, not financial advice, but and we'll get into EMP and eShare a little bit later. But the community has really been rallying the last few days, for sure. So yeah, this is instrumental into PEG and eventual yield in Fusion as well. Cool.
Yes.
All right. Anything else about bonds while I have this up?
No, I think we're good on that.
All right. Awesome. Let me get back to this.
And then let's chat about Zelic.
Yeah. So this is another awesome bit of news. Hang on one sec here. All right. So I don't have enough time to show it on my screen, but you guys can go to all of our socials. We have received the second round of audits from Zelic. So as part of our ongoing commitment to, again, the robust security of the ecosystem and the vaults in particular, we hired Zelic for a comprehensive audit that extended not only beyond, or not only to the smart contracts, but also to the OPSEC, or operational security. Again, remember, the original issue was due to something that really wasn't an attack vector that we thought was even possible. The smart contracts were never affected, and so it was through our web server. And so Zelic is really cool because they are able to look at all the infrastructure and look at any holes. They're just not auditing the code. They're actively trying to infiltrate the ecosystem. So that is really bullish. And they went through our entire GitHub. They looked at all the CI/CD pipelines. I mean, again, really in-depth stuff that you can go through and read the report on again all of our socials. But this is now the, I think, 7th audit that we've had. So we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on making sure that our code is safe and that bonds are as impenetrable as they can be. So all this now that is in place, we feel like we are more resilient than ever. And obviously, we would never hope to be hacked, but the fact that we were allows us to be even stronger moving forward. And honestly, bonds may have never happened without this. So it really has been great to create a product that is so simple and beneficial to everybody because of this, unfortunate circumstance. But yeah, really excited for that. There was a few recommendations. Audits always recommend that you have more audits. So that was one of their recommendations. Again, just to always be, hiring and inspecting the code over time. And then they also asked for implementation of a bounty program, bug bounty. We have an ongoing bug bounty program. Well, if any white hat hackers find any potential issues, they're more than welcome to reach out for the bug bounty. But we will be moving forward with some more structured bug bounties
And
as
AJ, how
well.
does that differ from the hackathon that was going on? Is that still going on?
Yeah, so again, Zelic, again, they own another company called Code Farina, and they are essentially a bug bounty program. So they put it out to all their white hat hackers, and if any of them are able to find exploits, then they get a bounty for doing that. So yeah, that is the third part of the Zelic audit, LA. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So again, we're always actively making sure that we are safe as we can be.
Awesome.
Cool.
I
right.
love when we get to give these updates and just to show that we're continuously checking into things and making sure that everything stays as safe as humanly possible.
Yep, absolutely, LA. Again, it's very, obviously, like I said, we would never hope to be having issues, but the fact that it was exposed makes us even stronger for the future. And now we're, again, we've always been really focused on security, but, having all these extra hands now has been really helpful. And yeah, I think we're definitely on track. So. All right. What else? Now on to legacy contracts. Again, this is one that is coming up. I know all of you still really would love the USDT batteries and the EMP migration to happen. It is still happening. Again, we have a lot more work with the whitelist onboards, and we're implementing some other things with bonds that we originally were not gonna do right away. One of those is an instant redemption. We're working on that as well. As it is right now, you can redeem your bonds anytime, but we asked for about a 48-hour window. We're implementing some automation now that should be able to instant redeem your bonds as long as it's under about 10,000. So that was a bit of code that was taking priority over the legacy contracts and the batteries, again, just because we have to focus on what's making us revenue at the moment. But all of it is still on track. The USDT batteries will most likely happen first. And, we did, I just literally was in touch with the devs earlier today for the final whitelist. All of you that signed up for that and said you had a battery that wasn't or that was affected, we submitted all those addresses again. So again, I can't put a time frame on it, but we're closer than ever. And then after we get the 2 white labels on bonds out the door, then we'll be able to do the legacy migration. So that's the rollout plan right now. Does that help, LA? I don't know if you want to elaborate. But
Yeah, the only other thing I'll say to elaborate, I've seen lots of chatter in the dev chat about the legacy contracts this week.
yep, 100%. So, all right, awesome. All right, so Fusion, LA, again, we have a lot to go over. With this, there's lots of updates, but maybe if you start things off and then I can elaborate a little more. I know Grover is also in the house. We have some updates from him, and we have some really cool alpha to drop with more community incentives and giveaways. So, I guess let's just start with, you know, Peg, EMP, and eShare have all been going up over the last few days. So that's
Really good,
promising,
yeah.
right? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, eShare is the highest it's been in the last month or two. Peg is looking great. I mean, there was a little dip earlier in Peg, and it's right back up now, even higher than it had been. So that's looking good. The last few weeks, we have had higher levels of fusion sacrifices than we've had in months. So that's a great sign. Everything EMP and Fusion wise is looking really, really strong. And I think people are loving the new badges, and Grover and John and us have been all behind the scenes, busy planning even more.
Yeah, no doubt. So that segues perfectly into badges. I showed last week we had some really cool new commemorative badges based on how much EMP you sacrificed. I don't have it set up today yet. I was running late. I've been in meetings all day, so I apologize. The stream is not as fun today, but you can see. I'll post the image in our socials, but we have a total of 6 new badges based on how much EMP you sacrifice. It is unfortunately it is new EMP, but that's bullish for us because we all need to be buying new EMP and sacrificing that. That helps directly. And I know Grover was coordinating even now during our live stream with some of our OGs on a little stream pump. So shout out to all of you. Charts are looking great. But the new badges, so we unveiled them, but then we had some great feedback where the top 3 for, I believe it's 10,000, I'm sorry, 25,000, 50,000, and 100,000 EMP that's bought and sacrificed. We will be doing some brand new commemorative NFTs. So if you do the first 3 levels, you get those. They show up in your EMP Fusion Watch dashboard. And again, there's JPEGs you can just look at. They're not actual NFTs. But if you do the upper 3 tiers, you will get an actual NFT. So they're very limited. Again, we'll be putting a whole post out about this, but the alpha is for tonight. And remember, you are also getting bonus EMP. So if you do this just like our community challenges, depending on how much you sacrifice of new EMP, you will get a bonus as well. So it's really a win-win. Oh, and last but not least, the NFTs that are the higher end ones, they're also signed by me. So my digital signature is on them. I know a lot of you were asking for that as well. And so I was happy to work with Rover and the rest of the team on putting that together. So again, we'll have a full update as a post on this, but even more ways to earn. And one more little bit of alpha. I teased it a little bit on the last AMA, but we are rolling out a brand new competition around eShare. So VIPs, you'll be getting access to this within maybe the next day or two, and then by next week we'll have it released to the rest of the community. But it will be a fun way to speculate on the price of eShare and provide buying pressure on eShare. So I'll wait for the official announcement. Again, we still need to do some beta testing, so I don't want to spill all the beans. But yeah, really exciting stuff. LA, I know you were really spearheading that with John and Grover to give some love to eShare.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it, right? How about you?
Yeah, very, very excited. We are going to, like AJ just said, roll out some beta testing, but that should be coming very soon. And it's going to be great news for the ecosystem because remember, as eShare prices rise, so do Fusion payouts.
Yeah, 100%. So, and on that note too, and let me pull up Fusion Watch while you're talking. LA, we've had some of the highest sacrifices in months the last few weeks, right?
We have, yes, very true.
Yeah. Yeah, so let me open this really quick. Again, for those that don't remember, or maybe haven't checked in a while, we have an amazing metrics website. Hang on one sec. And I will refresh. All right, so this is our Fusion Watch site. Again, this is all the metrics you need, and we've had some great momentum. Again, last week was about 4 times the amount that we've been getting sacrificed in previous weeks. So, and this week, we're already more than half of last week, and we still have a lot of days left in the week. So everything's looking promising. Again, momentum is here. Remember that Peg really isn't that far away. We're about 30K of brand new buys away from getting to Peg. Obviously, we have to be able to maintain Peg as well. But this is looking really, really promising. And again, a lot of great numbers. ETH now almost at 3,000, bringing EMP up with it. Peg at 0.32, which is again looking really good. And yeah, I think overall, like eShare again, a local high on eShare. The chart looks great, really breaking out. I'll show that here. hmm Yeah, so lots of nice new buys on eShare. And yeah, look at that. Look at here, great little recovery. We get up
It's a nice looking
past,
chart.
yeah, totally. We get up past, $8, and we're in price discovery again, at least locally, with all the resistance. So I think that $11, that's a line I drew a long time ago, as a target. So I think, easily a 2x from here with the momentum that we keep getting. So, and with the competition around eShare, I think that will really help with volume as well. So again, not financial advice, and always never put in more than you can afford. So, all right, LA, what is up next?
You already touched on it a little bit, but we were going to talk about the Gauge LP, but did
Yes.
you have more to say about it than what you already mentioned?
Yeah, totally. So thank you for the reminder. So yeah, again, we're gonna be doing a post about this. We have like a ton of articles coming out over the next 2 or 3 days. But Jake and I have been experimenting with again what's called Gaugeless Pools. Usually when you're providing LP, especially concentrated LP, you get part of the fees. Again, that's what we have built bonds on. You get fees from the trading volume. Now, on Aerodrome specifically, there is a gauge pool, and the gauge pool actually, instead of giving you fees, it gives you the Aero token, much more like a V2 pool. Um, and they use the fees then to support the price of Aero token. So we're experimenting now, just providing LP directly without going into a gauge, and then getting a higher percentage of the fees, but less arrow tokens. And our data right now has been really promising, and nobody is doing this right now. You know, all the quote unquote competitors, even though we have a better product, and more ways than one, but Beefy, VFAT, all those, they don't even let you automate non-gauge pools. So again, this is really inside baseball. So a lot of you guys might not even care or have no idea what I'm talking about, but just know for all of you that are in bonds, it could potentially mean higher APR, with more exposure to blue chip assets, so ETH and Bitcoin. So again, no promises, and we're still in the very early stages, but we'll have some info on this in the next few days, and by the next AMA, I'll have a lot of info. So, and by the next AMA, we'll be able to show the two new white labels as well, at least one of them. One of the two is actually a private community, so you have to be whitelisted to be involved, but I should be able to at least mention who it is. But the one is going to be massive. When you guys hear who it is, I think there's going to be a lot of fun times. So yeah, again, really look forward to that and scaling the bonds. So
Absolutely amazing.
yeah.
And then just a final reminder that both bonds and HVM, plus a handful of other things, stand to be incredible revenue streams for Fusion. So if we want to accelerate our path to Peg and to higher rewards within Fusion, a great plan, as we've kind of outlined, and obviously not financial advice, but would be to get some bonds and use a portion of your bond rewards every week to buy and sacrifice EMP into Fusion while you can still get a peg bonus and build up gradually. That way you get to win in both respects, bonds wise, Fusion wise. We get to peg quicker with everyone doing that, and you're building short, medium, and long-term gains. So
Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, we've said it now for years, literally. But, again, when we finally do see this supply shock and revenue streams kicking in, I get it. It's been years, and but we're in the final stretch. I mean, this has been a marathon, and we can see the finish line. So that all being said, to LA's point, all of the things that we're building isn't a distraction. It isn't, giving up on Fusion. It isn't, any of that whatsoever. It's actually a way to make Fusion even more powerful. And those of you that get it are well positioned to take advantage of that. So again, not financial advice, but we're really getting to a point that this flywheel is gonna really go faster and faster and faster. So cool. All right, I'm excited. That's
hell
bullish.
yes.
Yeah,
Hell
totally.
yes.
Yeah. All right, so you want to jump into questions, LA, or
Yes, I
yeah.
have just one on Discord, and then we can hop into YouTube. Let me
All right,
grab that
perfect.
real quick. All right, so Fusion Watch has been pretty stable on the way to the Peggy Dance, even with all the sacrifices over the last months. So that must mean people holding must be selling faster than people are sacrificing. Where do we see the real number of EMP that we are waiting on to get to peg? And what I mean by this is everything not in a contract, liquidity, or sacrificed, since it's not just 124K.
Yeah, so I think I understand this question. So let me I mean, I'll just show it on screen. Um So basically, what this person is asking is what is the float of EMP, which is basically the amount of EMP that is still sellable, outside of the LP or the contract. So the best way to look at this is to go to deck screener. All right, I have a million tabs. All right, and shout out to Grover and the entire community. We have a nice little pump on Fusion right now, or EMP right now, due to a community initiative. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we like to see. As a team member, I can't tell you to buy EMP, but when the community rallies, it really, really helps. So again, we're looking good. We're bouncing off resistance. We're up and to the right very slowly, which is all super healthy. And this is in terms of ETH, not USDC, so even better. But all right, so back to what we were saying. If I go down here, all right, so you're gonna go right here where it says EMP, and it says holders. And this will be a way that you can see on chain all the holders of EMP. So again, the first one there, um, yeah, so this one here is Fusion itself. The second one is a Treasury. The third one is one of the team wallets, and so on and so on. So, the top, I'd say, at least the top 10 of these is pretty much accounted for. So anything below top 10 is the outstanding EMP that's left to potentially be sold or hasn't been staked. But it drops off pretty quick. I mean, you know, the even when you get to like, 82, there's only like 10,000, 12,000. The top 100 is, less than 8 right there, or at 8. So that is really bullish, because every single day more EMP that is bought and sacrificed, that number gets lower and lower and lower. And as you can see, uh, over 53% of all the EMP in existence is in Fusion. And, a few months ago, or when Fusion started, that number was like 20 or 30. So we've been making major, major headway. I think people get, a little frustrated when it doesn't happen as fast as they would like. But every single EMP, down to one EMP, matters because that's one more EMP individual token that can't never be dumped on our heads. So all that is really powerful. And yeah, I mean, as of right now, even with a lot of the volume, people are using it as exit, a way to exit, but that's okay because if they're selling at these levels, number one, they're getting nowhere near what they would get if we were at Peg. And number two, they're very rarely able to buy back into EMP for less than what they sold it for. So those two or three metrics make Peg inevitable. Again, mathematically inevitable. It's just a time frame that is the variable. So does that answer, LA? I don't know if that was really what they were asking, but hopefully it
Yeah,
was.
I think that was a good breakdown. Yeah, the actual amount that would have to be purchased without any other being sold would be that 124. But he is right that, other people are holding EMP and it's not a straight shot there. So I think that probably helped answer the question, hopefully.
All right, yeah, I know Grover's in the chat too. So Grover, if you have any other metrics that would be helpful, feel free to post as well. But yeah, okay.
All right. Here's a question from Yvonne. Can I just let my USDC payout from my bonds pile up and claim it months later?
Yeah, so shout out to David. eSHARE pumping, yes, sir. So yeah, so Yvonne, yes. So I mean, the answer to this is absolutely. However, I don't ever recommend just letting setting and forgetting totally. It's always a good idea to at least check in. Maybe look at your wallet every week or every month. Again, months is a long time in crypto, so. The short answer is that USDC will still be there. It doesn't go away. It's definitely a set it and forget it in that respect. But what you could do with that USDC is actually DCA into bonds or other ways of producing income that would again even make your USDT grow more. So, obviously it's up to your investment profile and risk tolerance, but on a contract level, yes, you can absolutely, you know, get a bond and come back a year from now, and you'll have all this USDT waiting for you. So.
Perfect. All right, here's one from David. Are we still doing 70-30 bondholders debt repayment? And after debt repaid, what is the percentage to bondholders / treasury?
Yeah, absolutely, David. So yes, it is still 70-30 split. Everything now is a standard 70-30 split. So even with all the white labels that are coming out, 70 goes to bondholders and 30 goes to, that particular project. So in our case, once the debt is paid, now we have, instead of 0%, we have 30% of everything coming into Fusion and GDEX. So again, obviously it's not a 50-50 split, so like 15% each. It's not totally like that because we use some of that yield to pay for development so that we don't have to sell our native assets. But the long story short is that 30% is building our treasuries back. And then yeah, I mean the yield from that then pays yield in Fusion and in GDEX. So that's why it's so bullish that we have not only have a plan to pay everybody out on the debt, but now when that is actually that liability is gone, we are absolutely in an amazing position of cash flow and reserves and basically everything you would want to see in any business, let alone a crypto business. So yeah, I'm excited for that for sure.
And
And
that's exactly why I was saying the thing about getting bonds now and using them to build up your Fusion position, because the people that are continuously adding to their bonds and Fusion position now, whenever they can, are in a very good position to win when that debt is repaid because of everything that AJ just said.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, and again, one last point I was just gonna say is we're moving through that debt a lot quicker than people think too. I mean, again, if you do the math backwards, you know, like I was saying in a few other AMAs, if we got to 10 million TVL in the bonds, we could pay the debt back in about a month. So we're well on our way there, and it's a snowball effect. So every day that goes by, we're able to pay more and more from that debt as well. And I think it's going to be a lot quicker than people estimate, which means APR in Fusion and APR in GDEX are going to be even bigger a lot sooner than people think. So cool. All right.
Okay, awesome. Next one from Mega Buddy. Didn't the hacker take control of the EAO wallet?
So no, that wasn't what happened. What happened, and we have a full report on this if you want to go through any of our postmortem stuff. But they were able to get a hold of the keys of the actual smart contract. So it wasn't really the EOA address, but it was the smart contract that controls the minting of receipt tokens. And, again, it wasn't an issue with the smart contract itself. It was the fact that they were able to hack the cloud server to then get access to the private keys. So, again, and the reason the private keys are even on the server was just at the speed of what we were developing at. I mean, again, we have a team from all over the world. Obviously, hindsight is 2020. If we knew that vulnerability was there, we would have had additional measures like multi-sigs. But when you're making, you're updating the smart contract and adding new farms, every hour of every day from multiple devs all over the world, you have to have that scalability. So And again, we still have an ongoing investigation into that. We've hired a third party company. The FBI is involved, so it's definitely making headway. But I can't really comment on that too much. And speaking of new farms, though, we added like 50 new farms to the vaults today as well. So definitely check that out. And the overall TVL in the vaults is like 3.5 million, which is more than what it was when we were hacked. So that is an amazing metric. Yeah,
Incredible.
is that incredible, LA? Yeah. Yeah. So shout out to all of you. Talk about coming back better and stronger than ever. We're the epitome of that. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
let's go. Yeah.
Crypto Pride is asking SwapX.
Oh man, I love it, Crypto Pride. So I cannot confirm nor deny that we are in touch with SwapX. But the one that's coming in any day now is not SwapX, but it is probably on the caliber of a SwapX. So in terms of how many people know about it. So yeah, or size of the community. Again, not talking success or price. But yeah, it's a big community. Probably maybe even bigger than SwapX, to be honest.
I'd say so.
Yeah, cool.
Mr. Panic says we need PNL.
Yes, yeah, I know. You and me both, Mr. Panic. So, or Mick Panic. Yeah. So, yes, we are working on a UI update for the bonds that will show a PNL at the bottom. Again, it's a lot harder than it sounds. We have the infrastructure for the vault, but we have a whole new API for the bond. So that is on the list. Again, I don't have a timeline. But that's again up there with the legacy migration and the USDT batteries. That will be the next addition to bonds for sure.
Awesome. Grover gave a really good analogy. He said bonds and HVM are Red Bull for Fusion. I love that.
I love it. Yes, totally. Absolutely, Robert.
And good point also from Grover. Fusion Watch has all the info of where all the supply of EMP is.
Yeah, so that's a great point, Grover. Thank you. Again, I'm so used to looking at the on-chain data itself, but Fusion Watch pulls from all of that. So if what I showed earlier was still a little overwhelming and confusing for you, all that same info is on the Fusion Watch website and with like tooltips that says where everything is. So yeah, thank you, Grover. Good point. Cool. All right.
Oops, sorry, I was talking with my mic muted.
Oh, no worries.
I said, oh, awesome. I think that might be all the questions.
All right, amazing. Well, we moved through it really fairly quickly today. Again, everybody's high-fiving with Bitcoin getting new all-time high. We had about the same amount of viewers tonight. But again, shout out to all of you for continuing to put in the effort. We're getting there. It is a slow churn, but it is happening. I mean, again, we have real results for the work that we're putting in, which is very promising. And yeah, I think again, we're a lot closer than people realize, and bonds have been instrumental in that. So shout out to all of you for always, being around and being involved and investing in your investment and really, putting in the effort. So yeah.
You know what? Oh, sorry. I'll let you go over that first.
Yeah, so again, just one more thing from Grover. That Peggy Dance number is updated every twice a week, every few days. And so, at the moment, the sales and buys have not been making the number go up because remember, if there are buys, but there's also the same amount of sales, then it has a net neutral effect. So it isn't that it's not working, it's just that we have to let people exit before before it looks the supply is impacted. So
It is actually a good thing every time one of those holders sells because it's one less that we have to worry about when we get closer to peg. I think of it like whack-a-mole. Every time
Yes.
one pops up, you just gotta whack it, and then like there's less moles overall that are gonna pop up and surprise you.
I love it, LA. Again, the queen of analogies. Yeah, and it's so true. I mean, mathematically, that is what's happening because, like I said earlier, every time we whack that mole, then that mole never comes around again. And so there will
Mm-hmm.
be a point that we're at peg, and then we're able to defend peg way, way easier because there's nobody selling because they sold too soon. So,
Funny
yeah.
little side note, but I used to do door-to-door sales, and sometimes people would get discouraged when they would hear no 10 times in a row. But I tried to think of it the opposite way. I would actually get really excited when someone would say no, because I knew that on average, every 10 no's brought me to a yes. So I would run even quicker because it would mean that I was closer to getting what I wanted. And so this is the same concept. Don't get all down in the dumps every time you see a sell on EMP, because every time one of those holders sell, it means we're actually closer to peg because there's less EMP in the hands of people who intend to sell, even if the actual number on the peg may go down temporarily.
I love it, LA. Again, I love that story. And it is. I mean, that goes back to what we say and what part of our ethos at EMP, and that is mindset. Again, it's all about the way you look at things. And that's it. I know I have the same mindset now that, yes, sales are maybe a bit of a bummer, but that means that it's less that we worry about in the future, which then turns into a positive. So, yeah, I love it. But we're making real progress. That's the take home of all this. So, all right, awesome. Then yeah, we'll wrap it up again. I have to get ready for the premiere of our new character over on Universe Madness. Please join us at 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, about 15 minutes or so, and then we'll have a follow up AMA at our usual time at 8:30. LA, I don't know if you can post the link in the live chat as well. But
Yeah, sure. And it's
yeah,
also in all the Telegram groups, even the EMP ones. So definitely
perfect.
make sure
Yeah,
to check that out.
yeah. So definitely join us there. And yeah, that'll do it. So congrats to all of you for being in crypto market booming, and we're just getting started. Again, Bitcoin now all-time highs. Don't be too worried if we see a short-term pullback, but usually the real bull run does start in July. And again, you can't always say that history repeats itself, but if you look at all the previous cycles, this is how it goes. And we have arguably way more bullish sentiment and news and institutional money feeding this bull run than we ever had. So I think we're still on track for a very, very interesting October. We should have all-time highs on everything by October. So, all right, awesome. Any final words, LA, as we wrap it up?
Well, thank you guys for joining us. I was feeling pretty tired today, but you guys fired me all up and now I feel great. So thank you for that. It's an exciting time we have here, and start my own door-to-door business. No, thank you.
Yeah, LA's going door to door for EMP. That's commitment right there, man. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
thank you guys for joining us. We always love when we get to celebrate. I believe we should celebrate every single milestone. And tonight does happen to be some bigger milestones we got to celebrate. And it's always nice when we can be together when the market's booming. So appreciate all of you. Please join us in 15 minutes for the premiere. It's going to be a really exciting one.
awesome. Yes, thank you all. And shout out to some of the community members. We had one of our community members make a killer new rap song and music video. I'll play that on the next AMA for all of you. But shout out to him, and we'll have a link to his YouTube as well. But yeah, we are celebrating, and we take the wins where we get them. And today has been a win for sure. Almost $3,000 ETH again is incredible. So, all right, much love to all of you. Have a great weekend. Good night. Good day. We will see you next Thursday. Bye bye, everyone.